promised me you'd set me free. Don't fall asleep to a dream. Awake now.
Happy 100 horror reviews. Yep, this re-review marks exactly 100 horror reviews I've done, including different horror movie series reviews and also the horror season reviews I did last October. And a couple of graphic movies reviews I did last year also count, however none of my Hollywood Beatdown reviews are included in this list. It's fitting that as I celebrate 2 years of these reviews, I also celebrate 100 of these reviews. Anyway, Freddy's Dead. As the Nightmare on Elm Street movies were becoming more and more sillier, a lot of fans thought the movies were getting worse. Some, however, liked the direction they were taking, but a lot didn't. So eventually, after 6 films, New Line Cinema released Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. A lot of fans have called this the worst film in the series after Freddy's Revenge, but I have to say, I like this movie quite a bit. The film's like watching a Looney Tunes cartoon in live action with swearing, pot-smoking teenagers, oh yeah, and Freddy Krueger. The dream sequences have gone from being mildly jokey to being flat out funny. I had low expectations for this film after hearing so much bad stuff about it, and I was pleasantly surprised. Sure, it may not be the best in the series, but it's still not the worst. That definitely still goes to the remake. The film is set 10 years after the 5th film, and Freddy has killed every single child in Springwood, the town from the other movies. The parents and adults have been driven to insanity due to it. There's one scene where you see a woman who works at an orphanage talking to a load of imaginary kids. The movie starts off with a character called John on an airplane.
Fred Heights.
Don't be a pussy.
What an awesome woman. He gets thrown out of the airplane and wakes up in a bedroom. Then he opens his curtains and sees Freddy in a homage to the Wizard of Oz. He starts walking and goes to the bus station to buy a ticket, and Freddy hits him with the bus. He then gets thrown across the border of dreams and reality and he hits his head. He then forgets everything about himself. He's then taken to a youth centre where all of the other main characters stay. He and the woman who works there then decide to go to Springwood to find out who he actually is. The woman's name is Maggie and she is Freddy Krueger's daughter, but she doesn't know this yet and we're not meant to learn this until later in the film in a big plot twist that I actually worked out almost instantly. They eventually find that Tracy, Carlos and Spencer, people who are staying at the youth centre, have stowed away in their van because they wanted to escape the centre. Maggie gives them the car and tells them to go home, but when they try and leave they end up going in circles. They stop off at an abandoned house and break in. After they go inside of the house, it changes, revealing that it is the Elm Street house which appears in pretty much every movie. Carlos falls asleep inside the house. What I haven't said about Carlos yet is that he has a hearing aid and Freddy rips it out in his death scene. He then gives it back to him magnified. He drops a bunch of nails and that hurts his ears. He then scratches the chalkboard with his glove and Carlos's head blows up. Robert Englund has since said that this is his favourite death scene in the entire series. Tracy leaves to find Maggie and John while Spencer just gets high. He starts watching TV and we see Johnny Depp in a pretty funny cameo.
Don't you know that I love you?
Well, that's weird. All he did was smoke weed. Imagine what it would have been like with magic mushrooms. So he gets sucked into the video game and John and Tracy go into the dream and steals Freddy's controller. But luckily he has his trusty power glove, which was originally meant to be the original NES accessory, but they couldn't get the rights for it.
Now I'm playing with power!
Now you're playing with fucking shit. You're better off fucking shit than fucking with this fucked up shit. Fuck this shit. You don't know shit about how fucking shitty this fucking shit is. It's so bad it sucks. It's so fucking suck it fucks.
So Spencer dies and then John, Tracy and Maggie drive off in a van. John is sucked down and falls with a parachute. He thinks that he's Freddy's son, but he isn't, and Freddy cuts his parachute. He then puts out a bed of nail, which is more reminiscent of Looney Tunes than anything in a horror film. Freddy then goes into Maggie's mind, so he goes where she goes. Then back at the youth centre, no one remembers the children except for Maggie, Tracy and Doc, who works with dreams. She has a dream where it's fully revealed that she is Freddy's daughter and she sees a flashback of her mother getting killed. Tracy is attacked by Freddy, but she burns herself on a stove to wake herself up, similar to what Nancy did in the first film. Then Doc is also attacked by Freddy, but manages to pull off some of Freddy's jumper out when he wakes up. Also similar to what happens in the first film. Then they decide they need to pull Freddy out of the dream just like they did in the first film. Maggie is told she has to put 3D glasses on because this part of the film was actually made in 3D. Then there is this long dream sequence showing that Freddy got his dream powers because of these weird flying sperm looking things. She sees Freddy, grabs him and pulls him into the real world. She finds him in a cell. Freddy is turned back to human Freddy and says he didn't want to kill people, but it just happened when they took his daughter away. He killed the children of Elm Street to get revenge, and now he wants to carry on getting revenge. Of course it's a lie and he turns back to normal. After a huge fight scene with loads of shit flying at the screen in 3D, we see Freddy pinned up against a wall and a pipe bomb is stabbed into his chest. He then blows up and he is dead. And then Maggie says,
Freddy's dead.
He said it!
the ending is absolutely atrocious and it's probably the worst ending in the entire series. But it's still an alright film. I know there is a lot of problems that were in the last movie and this one too. However, due to the fact that the film feels more balanced in its humour, I enjoyed it a lot more. I also loved the scenes where they reveal more about Freddy's backstory. However, I can't wholeheartedly say that this is a great movie. It's not great at all. However, I enjoy it for the wacky, violent piece of crap that it is. Luckily, it wasn't actually the final nightmare. We've still got 2 more in the original series to go. I give Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare a D-.